live now.
I'm just making a rhythm.
Review.
Stu, what we did. We got some stuff to talk about. Breaking news. Breaking news.
Meme review. You don't watch PewDiePie, do you?
Nope. I really don't.
Damn it. You should.
Anyway, is he still the top subscribed? Because I don't know why he would still be the top subscribed. Oh, it was the Indian channel?
Because T-Series beat him out. But T-Series is also an Indian...
Yeah. It was a corporation, so...
Yeah. And
like
their videos still get like way less views than his do, but that's okay.
Well, if you put out 5 videos a day or... Anyway, you know. Hello!
Hi. How's it going? How's it going, guys? My name's PewDiePie. No? Oh. I've been watching PewDiePie videos lately. I don't know if you can tell.
Goodness. I watched a few Laurie Loaded videos that he did with something that I thought, yeah. What would he say?
Screwed up autofocus.
I don't know. I'm too focused on Lower Decks and Prodigy right now.
Yeah, we got some stuff.
But we're not here to talk about Strange New Worlds, and I was all hyped for that because I read somewhere there's gonna be Strange New Worlds today as well. So I was like, why is there no Strange New Worlds? I want to talk about Strange New Worlds. Show me.
Yeah. Squadra Course asks, do we get more ad revenue if they watch the ads? I think that's how that we're at.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, so watch them. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that. 63 people, or 65 people here, 44 likes. Guys, hit that like button. This has been, the last couple months have been like some of the it hasn't been great revenue-wise. So hopefully with new Trek coming out, we'll be up there. So if you guys can help out, Ozzy's already thrown in a super chat, so that obviously is a big deal. So thank you so much. If you can, please do. So
we do want to know your thoughts about this because there's a plethora of stuff to talk about, and we want to know what you guys. You know, we've only I don't know. I'm sure you talked to some of the internet about this, but very much we've had a conversation already today about this. Waiting for this as well, but we all know what you guys think. A lot of sort of first looky stuff today. See where our heads are at collectively, as we did with the transporter room. You know.
Yeah, and be sure to tune in this weekend for some edited content about what came out today. And do not forget that next week we will be doing full breakdowns of the trailers. So join us for those as well. This is going to be a general discussion about what we think about it, first reaction-wise, and what you guys think. So let's just get right into the super chats. We got Ozzy with $10.
Nice.
All hail the Spirit Commander and Super Captain Foley. Smiles when the wall has fell. Federation's president.
Yes.
Belt in hands. Okie dokie.
Oh, no.
We are smart. Yes.
We're gonna get back to these jokes, aren't we?
Oh yes. Jordan Reed, £4. Prodigy main ship looks great. Yeah, the USS Protostar, NX 76884. Does look great. Maybe you should tune in tomorrow for our thoughts on that ship, because we might do a video on it because it's a ship.
Wait, Trekyards doing a ship show?
What? I know we never do that anymore, even though every Saturday. I know, right? Ryan K is not loving the name. I love the name Protostar. I think that's an awesome name for a ship, and it is an experimental one too. So that's likely why it's in the Delta Quadrant. But we'll talk about that later.
It's quite, but it also has that kid-friendly. You know, it sounds a bit silly, in a kind of yeah, all right.
Yeah.
It fits the theme, but I'll start sharing, and hopefully when I come back, they'll have like 150
likes,
and that too. I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah. Okay, see ya. We have 105 people here. Everybody hit that like button. Let's get up to at least 75. I'm sure we can hit 100, though, before Samuel gets back. He's just going to share this around, get some more people in here, and let us know your thoughts, guys. I just saw we got some super chats in, which are a great way to get your comment read, your question answered, all that jazz. We do read them all on air. So if you can, please do. It helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Also, you can click the join button down below. Make sure you're subscribed, obviously. Subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell icon to all. But there's a join button as well, so you can help us on a monthly basis. It's not very much a month to join, depending on which tier you pick. You can get the rank of Commander, Captain, Admiral, Fleet Admiral, or Federation President. So if you want to contribute that way, please feel free. There are some perks and bonuses if you join the lives as well with those different join packages. So check those out. You can also send us a PayPal if you want. To accept PayPal, the information is down in the link, or down in the description below of every video. You just send it to trekyards@hotmail.com. Just let us know in the regular chat that you've actually sent that, and then we'll read your comment or question via the email from PayPal for that. You can also help us with merchandise. There's Trekyards merchandise down there. We have a Teespring store and a TeePublic store. And right now, TeePublic is having a sale, 35% off, which is great prices for our shirts and merchandise and things. So if you want to check out the link down below, by all means, click that. Go check out the merchandise while you're listening to us live here. Scroll through, see if there's anything you'd be interested in. You guys have been doing great with the TeePublic store. You've actually bought a lot of merch, and we got some really cool shirts and stuff. So if you want to get those, we'd really appreciate it. It really helps out the channel, and shows your love for Trekyards, especially when we see it at a convention or something. We love seeing the shirts out in the wild. So if you can do that, that would be great. Another way to help us is you can head over to Patreon/Trekyards. Again, all the links to all this stuff is down in the description below of every video. So just check those out as well and help us out. 65 likes. Let's get 10 more likes, guys. We have 105 people here. Another 10 likes would be easy to do. I do want to get to 100 though, but 75 is kind of the goal right now. So let's hit that. Just hit that like button. We'd really appreciate that. So yeah. Ed Fleming, hearing Trekyards doing a ship show reminds me of the Voyager blooper about ship it up to the ship, ship it out here. Here we go. Okay.
I'm back.
Oh, he's back. We can stop talking about him now, guys.
Yes.
Jordan Reed, though, throws in 2 pounds. It's like an updated Archer class ship. Well, we haven't seen much of it. I mean, we've seen enough. It's actually a very good first glance at it, actually. But yeah, I can see why you'd say that.
I mean, it doesn't break any molds, which is probably a good thing. Better to go with a safe design than a radical ultra mega design. I think clearly the interiors are going to be the radical thing. The exteriors are slightly more safe because you can change the interiors. And like I said to you, I'm sure they are going to change. Voyager kept its same style internally because they Starfleet regimentedness to try and keep it feeling like status quo. Whereas these people aren't Federation. I'm pretty much going to guarantee that as the show goes on, they're going to modify everything on the inside. So by season 3, it's not really even recognizable because it's an evolving piece. So on Discovery, it'll very much feel like a character because it is being changed with the show. So sort of it's irrelevant what the inside looks like because they are going to change it as they go, I'm sure.
We'll see. God damn it. SWTX Chaser, $10. Thank you so much.
Pens are good.
Looking forward to season 2 and interested in Prodigy. Love your reviews and videos as always. Well, thank you so much.
We know you do. Awesome. And don't worry, you'll see a lot this week. I've already prepped the Protostar thing with AI enhanced and all that good stuff. La la la. It's about Lower Decks and seeing what I can do for that. But do go and watch most of the trailers are region locked as they always do for some reason. But you can find them on the Facebooks, which aren't region locked, and Instagram, believe it or not, does give you a boxy version. So you can find them on the Star Trek.com, Twitter, Facebook, I mean. And do go watch the San Diego Comic Con panel, which is accessible all around. It's actually a general animation panel that they did, rather than just Star Trek. They include other things as well, but it had a full cast for each, which is pretty great. And I look forward to watching that tomorrow while I'm prepping, while you're asleep, and then we can relay information. You can watch it before you go to bed, and I'll watch when I wake up, and we'll talk about when we film tomorrow. So we're going to film tomorrow. Weekend, Stuart, we're filming. Ready for you guys, because no rest for the us on a day like this. And that's okay.
Just keep your eyes open for new videos over the next few days and all next week. There will be lots of cool stuff. So
yes.
Almost at the 75 likes. We get 70. There we go, 75. Thank you. Just as I'm saying it, even though there's a delay, so that's awesome. 117 people here now. Awesome. But let's get to 100 likes. 15 would be awesome.
Yes, and I want to do straight away a poll with all you guys. Now it's a little bit unfair because of course it is, but of the two, which are you more looking forward to more after this trailer? Which show? Prodigy Season 1 or Lower Decks Season 2? Which one got you more excited is a better question. So which of these two trailers got you more excited, Prodigy or Lower Decks? Put it down in the chat. You don't have to super chat, just put in normal chat. Throw down which one for you guys. And I want to hear a couple before, Stuart, you can say which one yours. Obviously, it's not really a fair comparison. One is under a minute, one is 2 minutes. But still, Gut reaction, guys. More excited for, because we know what Lower Decks is. So maybe if you're not as big as fan of Lower Decks, then Prodigy might tickle you in a fun place.
Yes.
Although actually, you know what I think they did? I think they realised if they did release a Stranger Worlds trailer, that would be the headlines. The animated ones are always going to get less press, even if one's now an established show. Anything live action is going to beat out the other ones. So I bet they're... Which is good. I mean, why would you throw 4 trailers in one day for Trekyards, have to review all of it in 1 week? No! Spaced it out. But I think that's probably what they've done.
Probably. And they're being really tight-lipped about Strange New Worlds. I think a lot of times after San Diego Comic-Con, stuff still comes out. So, yeah, maybe that's why, just to kind of give these few a moment to shine before...
Well, and also, in the olden days, when there's only one show called Discovery, they would throw stuff out regularly, quote-unquote, because they have to keep people hyped for one thing. Now they have 5 shows, they can keep as much as they want tight-lipped, because they always have something else to show for one of the other shows. They didn't need to release Picard stuff, because they've got a billion other things to release. Which just means that, you know, they can be more secretive, more less spoilery, which I think is actually a good thing. They don't need to play the press machine in the same way, because they have basically unlimited content in terms of what they could trail.
Yeah. Well, I'll say the general consensus in the chat is for Lower Decks Season 2.
Okay.
A few people have said both. We got a couple for Prodigy.
That's a cop-out. No, it's fine.
But yeah, I think I'm with the majority there. Lower Decks Season 2 really got me excited because we already know what we can kind of expect from Lower Decks. And they packed a lot into this trailer. So, with that being said, I was also super excited to see anything from Prodigy because it's been very under wraps as far as what's been going on with it. And we got like a few images, but nothing substantial. So now we got some meat to kind of get into. So,
which is interesting because those Prodigy images also look like sort of CG paintings. They don't even necessarily look like... No, like, I mean, you know they were in engine, but they didn't necessarily look as if they were fully real. And so seeing in motion, as I said to you in an earlier video today, they've gone for a very pretty stylized look where lots of the images could just be paintings, could be art that's sold. It's like, nice, you know. So seeing it in motion, seeing it live up to what the stills were is brilliant. Although now I'm super teased with that. Obviously it's a teaser, but we know nothing about the story beyond what they've already given us. There wasn't really they didn't tell us anything in that trailer. They showed us the ship, which is the main thing. There's nothing else really in that one that really is something to see. But I wonder when they're going to show the main trailer, because that shows the story, shows some characters, make us care for them, etc., etc. Especially if this is if this is maybe the show that comes out after Lower Decks. So they have 10 weeks to get it done, etc. Yeah.
Yeah. What was I going to say? God damn it.
Sorry.
That's quite all right. Dan23 though says one of his birthday gifts today was an Eagle Moss Enterprise A model. First Eagle Moss model he's had. So, well, happy birthday, Dan.
It took you a while to get there.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Dan, 23. He's probably not 23.
Yeah.
Everyone say happy birthday to Dan. He's one of our most regulars. So happy birthday. Everyone, go. Spam the chat. Spam!
Happy birthday, Dan. All right, while you're doing that, I'll read some super chats here. Andy Ulrich, $5. Surprisingly, I am more excited to see Prodigy. Not surprising at all. I mean, something new, something exciting, and like I said, I kind of got a Clone Wars vibe from it. So I really think that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, because it doesn't look like a kids show per se, which everybody was worried about. I think it's great. So yeah, being excited about it's not a problem.
And obviously, every show we're always excited for because it could be amazing. All potential in the world.
And Dan was born on the 23rd. So...
that makes sense.
I guess. Perfect. Olivia Julius, though, is here. Hey, Olivia.
President!
$10. I am here. Please do not forget to join the captain tonight for his trivia live chat. Give him questions like, what was the shield modulation generations when the Enterprise was attacked? That one. I always have a problem remembering it. It's 274. Hold on. It's one of those ones that is asked quite often, so I just got to think about that for a second. Um, hmm.
He's thinking with his thumbs.
I'm not.
He's thinking with his many fingers, and he's muting his.
No, it's 257.4 if I remember correctly. But my dyslexia sometimes messes with me. That's why I'm like trying to. Let me know. 257.4 is my guess. But like I said, sometimes I mess up the numbers with that. So
Langley.
It's one of those ones that's asked quite often, so it's kind of remembered.
Langley M. Neely says, "Are they ever going to explain the uniforms on Lower Decks? It's so confusing considering when it is set." It's funny you asked that, Langley, because I was actually the one, personally, at Star Trek Las Vegas, that was the first person to actually ask Mike McMahon in person
2019
on his panel the uniform question, and he gave me the answer looking me straight in the face in front of everybody, and that was then reported on by other people on other platforms. No, it's not confusing in a sense, because we have seen other uniforms being used. We know that Earth used the TNG style still when DS9 was using the Voyager because, well, reasons, I don't know, and they do, it takes a little while to alternate through uniforms. But in this situation, it's because the Lower Deck ship is one of the lowest rung, sort of, what would the word be? Not construction, but, ships that are super utilitarian, Whereas Riker and the main ships we saw in that era are actually ships of the line, proper Starfleet, like top tier. And so they have the actual uniform of the, the main branch, exploration, defense, whatever. Whereas the Cerritos is just utilitarian uniforms. That said, obviously, we did see most times we saw other officers wear them when we cut to other ships, which was somewhat annoying because there was an ambassador starbetter ground facility where they had the same uniform, which doesn't make sense. They should be using the standard ones, but I think it was revealed at the end of the season. But they are specific utilitarian variants. There are multiple uniforms at any given time, and the fact that we see this uniform coexist with the main uniform tells us all we need to know about that. So there you go.
Yeah, and we talked about that because we talked about uniforms and stuff a lot. So
I asked him, he told me that in person. So
yeah. Looks like 257.4 was correct. Okay, good.
Yeah. Well
sometimes I think it's 287.4 or whatever, but anyway, there you go. But yeah, so majority of you seem more excited for Lower Decks season 2, and that the Talking Tom Paris plate, that's the first Lower Decks merchandise they're releasing. I just saw a thing on StarTrek.com. They're doing a firing for the plate for 74 days, so it's a limited edition thing, but it's got a gold rim and all that. It's the exact same plate. However, they missed out on a trick. It should have like a sound chip in it. You hit the button and it talks. Honestly, that would be the way to go, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, there's an app, and it's like an AR face that moves when you put over it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, the funny old plate. And it is a bit sad that we're still waiting for the Eagle Moss ship.
I know.
We shouldn't still be waiting for that ship, but I think, you can imagine they were told, make the Picard stuff a priority. Because we've already had like 6 Picard ships and no Lower Deck ships, and Lower Decks came out after Picard? Yeah, because it was Lower Decks then Discovery. So yeah, they had, I guess, 6 months on them, although still should be out by now.
Not even any sneak peeks of it or coming soon kind of thing.
Well, I guess the coronavirus obviously slowed everything down, so maybe new stock isn't the priority.
That excuse is bullshit, but whatever.
But hopefully they can, maybe with the season 1 episode, maybe they're going to show off Eagle Moss, make an announcement to celebrate the, start of the season, which makes sense. Why show it now? Show it on the 12th. Pre-order now to get the Cerritos. That'd be nice. That'd be fun.
That'd be great. Yeah. All right. So, what do you guys want to talk about specifically? I was super stoked to see the Prodigy thing, as I said, and to see a ship. The fact that we got a ship in that was awesome. I didn't really expect that. And the shot we got, I was like, okay. And then we see another one. It's like, okay, cool. We can work with that. Thank you. But I do like the general shape of it. Like I said, we're going to be doing an episode specifically on the ship and our thoughts.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a fan-led one as well. You guys put in your super chats, control the conversation, talk about you tell us where to go, etc. But where I stand on the teaser and the trailer, Prodigy looked great visually, looks high end, nice art style. Up until the point where they actually reached the Federation ship, and even arguably not until Janeway showed up, there wasn't any Star Trek vibe in it, like art design specifically. There was no relatable tech or aliens or whatever, so it could have been any show in any universe. Even the ship, there's elements that you wouldn't be too removed from saying that was a rip-off Trek ship from a universe, without the Bassards and whatevers. I mean, obviously it isn't, but it's also not fully on that line. Not until Janeway came in. So, but it's Delta Quadrant, so I wouldn't expect there to be. It would have been nice to see one or two things, or just Janeway show up would have been nice at the end. But they're saving that for the real trailer. I'm sure when the trailer comes out, they'll have Janeway, the moment she becomes a hologram, talks to them and have the interaction. That'll be, I'm sure that scene will be in the trailer, because that's the moment. So I liked it, but it's nothing, I've got to look past the lens of it's just any other TV show. I'm not seeing the Star Trek there yet, because they haven't shown any real Star Trek there yet. But once we like the characters, it doesn't matter if there's, canon Trek designs. Who cares if you like the characters? But you can't like the characters until you start watching the show. There's the catch-22 of, it looks interesting, but as a random sci-fi, it would be a great Rick and Morty look. And that's always my issue with these shows, especially the JJ things, introducing new aliens. 8.5 times out of 10, they're non-interesting designs that don't resonate. For whatever reason. Same with J.J. Abrams' new Star Wars. They invented 100 new aliens. How many of them are in mass production as toys that people really like? Well, they're just, whereas the classic ones, the Gamorreans, whatever, they really stand out. Same with Andorians, Tellarites, etc. And so whenever you show new aliens, I'm like, okay, but you'll forget about it and move on. Whereas when you use the Trek canon, it deepens it a lot. That's why the Lower Decks teaser was so fun, to be able to see, all the aliens, and because it's not just for the sake of alien and say, oh well, here's a link to the universe. So that was a lot more fun in the Lower Decks trailer for sure. But it looked nice. But what am I meant to think from the teaser?
Well, exactly. I mean, it's the first we've seen from Prodigy, really. So,
thanks, Tom.
Don't know how long till we get. It did say streaming this fall, so we should be getting another trailers sooner than later. But that being said, we just got the longer Lower Decks trailer, and it's coming out in 2 weeks. So they held it very close. So, yeah.
Thanks, guys. How we going?
Oh yeah, thanks, Ezra. So yeah, what do you guys want to specifically talk about? I mean, I love seeing some Riker and Titan action in the Lower Decks trailer. I mean, I don't know how long Boimler's going to be on board the Titan, but we do see him as an ensign again in the Cerritos uniform. So it'll be interesting to see how much they've invested into Riker and the Titan. But I'm hoping for a few episodes anyway of him not being on board the Cerritos. So,
because my assumption is it might be a 2-part opener to kind of follow on from the one half of it is a very light-hearted Cerritos style, and the other half is a very not light-hearted, following up with the, what are they called?
Packlids?
Yeah, following the Packlids threat and having real politics and so out of Boimler's league, which is clearly implied in the trailer.
91 likes though, guys. Let's get 9 more likes. Up to 100 would be great. Wow, our viewers got cut down by more than half.
Because the stream stopped streaming and then everyone left to refresh, I guess. But now it says we're back. We did talk the entire time there, guys. So hopefully all of you will come back, because...
Oh, you should have let me know, because I didn't know.
Well, I mean, I didn't know if it was actually working or not, because it's a little bit confusing as to... Because you were still here, so...
Okay, well,
it could not have been...
We didn't know the stream died, guys, so... There we go. We got 100 likes. Hopefully the viewers come back up.
Yes.
It's the viewers just went from 100 to 50 to 40, and it's what is happening? What did we do? We canceled. Trekyards canceled. What the hell?
Apparently so. I wonder if it did. I wonder if it kept all the stuff we said in the middle.
Don't know, because we said some really interesting
Because
things.
you're fine. Like, nothing wrong with your stream, so there's no reason why it would be low. But we're sending out at a high quality still, so...
We're back up over 100 viewers, and we got 103 likes. That's great. If you haven't hit like yet, hit the like button. Let's get up to at least 120. I think we can do that easily. 17 more likes, guys.
Weird.
So...
yeah.
Everybody contact your friends and family. Trekyards is back online. Yes.
Good stuff.
Yeah. It's only streaming at 144p now, though.
Well, mine can still do 1080-60, so... Just refresh, guys. Just refresh.
Oh, and YJ said, yeah, he's adjusted back to 1080, and it's fine. So, you don't need to see us in high resolution, because, you know, we look better in low resolution, probably.
But then they can't appreciate our backgrounds.
That's true. That's true.
But yes, I was saying, and you were saying how the Boimler, going back to Ensign, will he make a big mistake, a big, you know, or will he enjoy the, no, F you, Captain Riker, demoted! You know, kind of take the, like Mariner F'd you at the Admiralty.
Yeah, I think he might do a, well, throw me in the brig then, and take a page out of Mariner's book, like, you know, because he probably has too much responsibility or something, and he wants some downtime. So being in the brig is a good thing. Maybe that's what happens. I don't know. And we're talking about transferring the ship. Like, does he voluntarily go back to the Cerritos? But I was saying that his rank would carry over with him. So is it demotion and you're not good enough to be on Riker's ship? I mean, come on now. So I don't know. I don't know how that'll play out, but it'll be interesting.
I'm hoping for a two-parter and then a third one where he goes back. See how the team does without. Because hopefully they'll focus on Rutherford having his memory loss. Because it shouldn't just be a, you know, they left a lot of stuff hanging in season 1, so hopefully it won't just be a. And they just learned that she's the daughter of the captain, which wasn't fully resolved, because as soon as they worked it out, bad things happened. So there's a lot of stuff to resolve. So hopefully they'll give it the time it deserves.
I mean, I hope so. Oh, Prime 1351, $5.
Thank you.
Just now getting to join, but did the Prodigy ship look like a variation of the Nova class? Something about the same size and shape. It does, well, like Samuel said earlier, it doesn't break any molds really. It does seem small, and I'm glad that it's not like a runabout kind of ship. Like, that's what I was worried about. I'm glad it has a Star Trek feel to it. So, but I mean, Prime will be doing a video on that ship tomorrow. So tune in for that. We'll talk about it, our thoughts on it. So,
in terms of size, no, it's clearly quite a lot smaller than Nova. You can see the door. To an even smaller class. Probably the smallest classes we've seen. Probably more Raven-sized.
Not a banned account. I did not skip that. I did read your super chat, but it might have been during
the buffer time where we took 3 minutes off apparently.
So not a banned account again. $2. Know who would have been good for Prodigy? Echab, and I said yes, absolutely, because he's the very definition of the word prodigy. So yes.
And he's dead at this point. I don't know.
I don't know if Mark heard his super chat answer then, but anyway, no, Mark, we will be doing dedicated live streams next week for each trailer. So.
And ER says, this is an X ship. Do you think that it's a transwarp experiment? No.
Well, it's in the Delta Quadrant, so it could be some kind of experimental ship for some reason to get far. And Protostar, I mean, implies something funky. Who knows? Olivia Julius, $5. Help! I was repairing the comm array when the USS Trekyards went to warp. Guys, I'm still here. Guys. Oh yes, we warped away. You got enough air for a while though, Olivia. You'll be fine. More bridge windows. Well, this one doesn't seem bad bridge window wise. I mean, somebody pointed out earlier it's more like a dome. But we'll talk about that more later. Hezra says he may check out Prodigy for the sake of it. Definitely doing Lower Decks, though. Oh, I don't know why you wouldn't watch Prodigy. It's something new, something exciting. Hopefully it's great. Why wouldn't you want to check it out? 134 of you here, though. 111 likes, guys. 9 more likes. Let's get to 120. That was the next goal.
Yes.
Would be funny for kids to get into Star Trek with Prodigy and each have as the main character, and they grow up and decide to watch Picard. Oh, not nice.
Ryan, have they explicitly say that Prodigy is set in Prime or Kelvin? Well, nothing's been set in Kelvin for many years.
Yeah.
So they don't make that. They always say a Kelvin movie. The default is Prime, unless otherwise stated. There's only been 3 Kelvin things ever, unless it's a game, and they're very visually different. And there's never been anything Kelvin after the Kirk timeline, unless there's Janeway in it, and So I there's no reason whatsoever to assume this is Kelvin. Not a single reason.
Yeah, I mean,
apart from the ship looking vaguely Discovery-ish, but that's just because they fucked up art design. What do you want?
Yeah, and I'm not even sure I agree with you on that one, but we'll just have to see. Excuse me. Oh. Where are we here? Praying for Sliders and Star Trek crossover now with Jerry O'Connell and Lower Decks. No. I love that he's also married to Rebecca Romaine, who's #1 in Strange New Worlds. So got some good Star Trek crossover there. Nacelles look JJ or Kelvin to me. They had an appearance of that, but again. And yes, Core, I am fine. Do not worry. Not a banned account, $2. Is Prodigy in Prime or Discoverse timeline? See, that's the question right there. Because Discoverse is not Prime, so Samuel thinks it has kind of a Disco-verse vibe to it.
Well, I mean, that's just all the art design. I mean, so's the Zhenhei. I mean, it's as in like if you look at the evolutionary, I mean, it's more just the modern Trek aesthetic. It really isn't a Discoverse aesthetic. It's more just the current aesthetic. Sirius being an exception, but it's weird anyway. But there is no Discoverse, so it's all Prime. So. Ryan, follow up. I just think for a show specifically targeted for kids, it would make more sense to at least be highly influenced by the Kelvin Trek they grew up with. You say that, and yes, in some ways, but those that watched it in 2009 when they were young, it wouldn't leave much of an impression on them except action movie. So those children aren't looking at the Kelvin timeline as a inspiring Trek that any of us grew up with. It's just action movies, like maybe not the same as Fast and Furious, but it's another action franchise because that's all it was. There isn't much to there. So and those kids that are now, how many years later, 11 years, 12 years later, whatever, they've grown up and either started watching real Trek or they haven't, in which case they wouldn't watch it one way and they might watch it the other way. So that it would have made sense at the time, maybe, to have like a Kirk Academy thing, but that boat has well since sailed, and given the fact how violent the Kelvin films are, they're not kids things at all. So no, it's way more sense. Most adults show their kids real Trek, Prime Trek, and those are the kids that are watching it. And as Kate Mulgrew said, part of why she said yes to it is because it helps young minds grow and be sciencey. The Kelvin timeline films are the exact opposite of sciencey. So they're doing all, you can't learn science from making no sense. So yeah.
Yeah. And Ash Lemon says, did I see a Borgified Boimler? You did. But we'll be talking about that when we do the breakdown video for sure. But my assumption is that's either a holodeck program or a dream. More likely a dream sequence or some kind of alien mind influence messing with Boimler. It's not going to be a real Borgified Boimler. So, Olivia Julius, $5. Thank you so much. Alamarain, count to 4. Alamarain, then 3 more. Alamarain, if you can see. Alamarain, you'll come with me. No, you won't. Stop trying.
Funny. I'm potentially assuming that they might have what could be a reason why Boimler wants to go back to the Cerritos is that maybe Riker faces a Borg ship, and then he gets nightmares. Riker's all chill about the Borg because they fought him and won. And then he's like, but did no one care we were getting assimilated? And that'd be almost a fun reference if they do a Titan being assimilated episode, because Frakes directed the Enterprise being assimilated episode movie, and then and then he's like so chill about it because or maybe he says a line. Riker says a line. Oh, so this is what I was missing when Picard was on the Enterprise, because he just got to get drunk with Cochrane or deal with that chump. So this is what Picard was doing. Oh, why was he complaining? It's so easy. Because it's a cartoon. And then Bourne was like, why is he so calm? This is horrible. And then he has a nightmare. Mimicking what... Because it's clearly mimicking the Locutus scene, so... Yes.
Yeah, it'd be kind of neat if it was like a holodeck simulation or something, and it's beginning of the episode, and he says, he gives the cutest line, and you see Riker in his new uniform, Mr. Worf, fire, and then you cut to the opening credit or the opening title sequence,
and then his Borg cube gets annihilated like it was meant to. Yeah, a really good. It works that time.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of fun.
Can't have Trek shows without actors married to other Star Trek actors. Hey, it's fine. Robert Duncan McNeil mentioned in a recent interview that he had been asked to Picard Season 1, but he was too busy. They were talking about Picard Season 2 of Picard as well, but he is getting busy again. Yeah, that news coincidentally came out right before this trailer with him in it for Lower Decks. So, I mean, it's a lot easier to film or to record audio lines than to actually go and get fitted and do filming. So, yeah, there's probably a compromise. Like, I can't do Picard, but I'll do voice.
Especially as Picard got moved around for Season 2, so even if he'd wanted to be in Season 2, he couldn't have just said, oh yeah, when's the shoot going to be? Oh, during an episode of this other show I'm directing. Sorry, I guess I can't be in the show, and then it really messes up. So that's why I'm sure they book Frakes as soon as possible to say, you're directing this episode of our show, booked, a year in advance.
YJ Ranger says, Jesus, the Prodigy trailer was already taken down. Does anyone know where I can find it?
Pretty sure they're all still up.
You can still find it a few places on Facebook where it still plays. But yeah. I don't know why, but they decided let's region lock everything again. That's the dumbest decision ever. CBS, Paramount, stop it.
Yes.
Yeah, and Instagram, you'll be able to find it on there too.
And obviously, we like to look for the highest quality version to zoom in and look at the details, whereas if you just want to watch it, you can find it other places.
Yeah. But guys, 2 more likes to get to 120 would be great. We have 124 people watching with 118 likes. Make sure, A, you're subscribed, B, you click the notification bell icon to all, because we're going to be doing a lot of videos about this this weekend and next week. And, also hit that like button. Easy. We can get to 125 now. Small little baby steps.
So what was you guys' favourite fun new thing in the Lower Decks trailer then? Because there's so many little things. What will start to you guys?
You asking me or them? You're asking them. Well, one thing I did notice is that Tendi gets turned into a scorpion of sorts. But anyway, yeah. I can't wait to break it down scene by scene because there's a lot of little things in there, as it is the case with Lower Decks. So that'll be a fun breakdown next week.
And Dan says Miranda class. Yes, it's funny that they're also picking every time we destroy a ship, it's going to be a Miranda class. It makes sense.
Yeah. Not a band account, $2. Excuse me. What does God need with a starship? Good question. God needs to joyride in something. Red Avatar. Both trailers are on Comic-Con's channel in the long video about Paramount Animation. Just scrub through the video calls to get the trailers. Good. There you go. That's a good solution, too. And Olivia with $2. Hit the like button. The Puggy Master demands it.
There's a good trailer, which, as in for Lower Decks, which doesn't tell us anything, but because it's all deliberately created visuals, they can show us a billion things, which it did. And lots of them are like 5-second moments in episodes, but it's because it's something like, things. It was jam-packed of nothing, but still something, which is great. Because it's episodic, it's adventures. Whereas Prodigy, I'm sure, is going to be a season-wide big arc with a point they're getting to. This is obviously more, there is an arc, but it's much more gentle. It's about having these really cool adventures where you can just have random bits and bobs. But, a Cardassian looked like a Cardassian. An Nausicaan like a Nausicaan. Like they kept winning points, whereas I'm expecting to see Prodigy ships, aliens that look weird, just because, Kurtz might be more involved. I don't know.
Yeah. Feed Me Seymour asked if there are any new uniforms because he hasn't seen the trailers yet. No. We did get to see the Admiral again, though. The ex-husband or current husband, I don't know, of the captain of the Cerritos. So, but his uniform's the same as it was in season 1. Which would have been funny if it was different. Every time you see the Admiral, it's a different uniform. That would have been
good. I'm just going to be back in a second. But you guys, tell us your favourite thing about the trailer. I'll monitor it on the phone. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah. Someone gets trapped in the transporter room. Well, no, they're trying to beam him out from being attacked by the Packlids, and I think there's a problem with the transporter beam, so it's cutting in and out while he's screaming. But talk about Shaxx being shown in the corner of one scene. I don't remember seeing that, so that'll be during our breakdown. Like I said, we're going to have as we tend to do, take an in-depth look at this frame by frame, kind of scene by scene, and just point out the little Easter eggs and things, and give you our thoughts on what might be happening. That'll be next week, though. So there'll be one day for the Lower Decks trailer and another day for the Prodigy trailer. So join us for those lives if you're interested, and keep your eyes out for those. So, will we look at pictures from the trailers? Yes, but not today. It's at 21 seconds in the Lower Decks trailer. Okay, we'll have to check that out, Ryan. Thank you for the heads up. I think that his screaming is what caused the transporter lock to fail and causes his demotion. Why would screaming cause the transporter lock to fail? He was obviously in a bad situation, had Packlids shooting at him, had some console on his legs, trying to beam him out. It was probably just transporter interference. I don't think it has anything to do with him screaming, but it's probably just a test, and he failed it. Yeah, the Temerian was a great thing to see as well. The Temerian's back. Feed Me Seymour. There has to be a cut to scene in Lower Decks where it's under attack and they lose the gift shop. Yes. Olivia Julius, $5. I'm still waiting to see what the nacelles do, since it was teasing on Trekyards that they do something special. I know, but he said that way he implied it in our conversation with him when we did talk to Mike McMahon. If you haven't checked out that interview, go check it out. But he was implying that would probably happen at the end of season 1. So we were eagerly waiting for that. It never happened. But yeah, we'll have to see if it's in season 2. I don't know. Could have just been messing with us, maybe. I don't know. Seen as it's set in the Delta Quadrant, I hope Prodigy truly takes advantage of the premise that so much potential, unlike Voyager did, so much potential to be groundbreaking, only to be a TNG clone. Yeah. Probably be easier for an animated show, honestly, just because if you're going to have the ship carry over week to week with damage and things like that, that's one of the problems that they had with Voyagers. They couldn't do that because they had stock shots of the model, or the standard stock shots, and they couldn't add the damage all the time. It would just be too expensive. So, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential for the Delta Quadrant. So, and considering this is an NX ship, which means it's an experimental one, with a name like Protostar, who knows what kind of drive it might have, or what kind of, you know, advanced tech it might have that might be interesting and something that they can exploit or get in trouble with. It's hard to say. Ryan says about the satellite scene, I'm glad that the four are getting tasks to do together. Well, yeah, I mean, they're friends and they're the lackeys. Where can we watch the trailers now? You can see them on Instagram. You can see them on Facebook. Paramount Plus YouTube. There you go. If it's not region locked for your area. It is Boimler. Strange things happen around him, so wouldn't discount his particular scrambles the transporter logs. I think that's really silly, and I don't think that's at all what happens.
What?
They've been saying that Boimler's screaming is what caused the transporter lock to fail. But no, I think that's silly.
It's presumably a Packler jamming field, which they don't know how to work properly, which would be the joke.
Yeah.
Maybe they like, turning a dial to try and make it work, and then they turn it off, and it's just like, you made them go.
Off on. So the beam's like coming through and.
Yeah. But it was a good-looking transporter room. I'm certainly hoping.
The transporter room looked great, yeah.
Which shows that they can design, because it's, in all the Discovery shows, they haven't designed a single Prime-looking set, or like nothing has been, even for Picard, has there been anything in Picard? Well, no, I guess the Johnny shuttle they designed like 15, the stuff he designed, some stuff he designed 15 years ago, because obviously he was designing Prime stuff back then, like properly Prime, but they do their own stuff with it. But Lower Decks, for the most part, has still odd sets, like their bridge is too big, and there's things about it. But if they want to design a transport that looks appropriate, boom, there you go, there it is, exactly what it should be.
Yeah. And Ryan was talking about glad they're all working together, because in season 1 they're always split up when they're all left behind, and they left us. That's great.
It was funny. It started strong and it ended strong, both on good comedic things, I thought. And certainly, absolutely. Having an episode where they are stuck in a very basic situation, like, what?
Yeah.
What? How do we we're gonna die in 5 hours. How do we escape this? No, that could be a lot of fun there.
Yeah.
Well, like we said,
sorry. No, go ahead.
Well, as I said last year, you don't know where anything's going because we don't know, and they even have stuff in that. You have side stories that don't even do anything in their thing. So to even guess a lot of this stuff as being really important is hard, because they just throw that could be the cold open,
Yeah, it's animated and it's comedic, so the routes they take with things aren't what would typically be the typical storytelling tropes. So it's hard to guess. But Sean O'Sullivan though throws in €2. Darmok race officer in Lower Decks clips. OJ in the Bronco. Yeah. Temerian is the race for them. So,
yet more clever small things in that trailer, which is what Lower Decks is known for.
Yeah, and I talked with Samuel about this earlier. I don't think he's coming on as a regular character. It's probably going to be a 1-episode thing, because how are you going to write that character if he becomes a regular crew member? I mean, he can be a background character that shows up occasionally to make like the odd weird reference, but he can't be replacing Shax as the security officer.
Well, we know he's not, because he's in the scene. He's in a scene with him, so it's a flashback. Yeah, I mean, it's he might be a. Well, you wouldn't ever hire that guy to be your I mean, I guess you could call them Worf parallels, but no, he's certainly the fact that they don't know how he speaks means they either didn't know who was coming on board, or they didn't care enough. But you know, it'll be a wonderful one-off. I mean, we had lots of one-off characters. I mean, there was the Star Trek animated series Alien, who was on the medical ship. One-off, did well.
The Indosian, yes.
There you go. So it'll be a one-off, but a very noteworthy. Just like with Packlids, haven't really, apart from a bit of DS9, haven't seen them in decades. But it's such an iconic thing that Mike is picking up on, and now having joined Starfleet, that's a ballsy thing to have done. But it's a very one-note joke, and even in the TNG episode, which we luckily just reviewed, it's a very one-note joke. And he says the same dialogue again and again. There is not much depth there at all. It's a very surface-level joke/message. It's how we as the audience are seeing it. To, you know, the whole story is breaking down communication to its simplest of things of we all survive together. Not some great understanding, just an understanding. And so, you know, you obviously can't talk in metaphors that you don't understand. And even if, although that said though, if in a fun way, they've created the lexicon they understand by using references in Trek. So he will say, Picard at Viridian in the long grass. And they're like, oh yeah, Picard did a thing, didn't he? Like, that might be fun, because they create a translatable inference. And then maybe Mariner's the only one that can talk to him, because she gets all the references. There you go. There's your connection.
Yeah, that's actually great.
And she's like, oh, Sulu! Yeah. Sulu at Farpoint in Excelsior Refit. You know, Kirk on Kirk Die Bridge. Kirk under bridge die at Generations. What? Nothing.
Oh my god.
What does God Starship need with want? Now just being Yoda.
He's not Yoda.
No, that has a lot of potential, but you know, I mean, it would be great to have multiple. It'd be great to have multiple episode arcs, kind of like Enterprise, because they could add more depth. I mean, we've both said, and I'll reiterate, just give them 22 episodes, give them a real TV season of TV. Don't limit it to 10. I know obviously means that you have to throw more ideas, and not all of them are going to work. You can refine 10 ideas better, but you know, 2 years to make less than one season's worth of old TV. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, why just give us 10? I mean, yes, sure, that means you get to have 5 different TV shows a year at 10 episodes. Okay, there's your 52 weeks a year. Yeah, okay, fine. But, you know, I want to see them.
And Feed Me Seymour's calling you out, Samuel. Says, you missed the transporter room design. It looked strange New World transporter room. You didn't feature the JJ movie transporter. That looks very similar.
But it's not Kelvin timeline, so it's an irrelevancy.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be linking, because as soon as you show that, it's like, oh. We did talk about it, though.
Yeah.
Although, side note, did you... Well, obviously you heard the news, but they've announced a third or fourth director-writer pair for the new Star Trek J. James film. Another full announcement, Stuart. And I was asked by several people, what do you think? And I said, when it comes out, I'll tell you. Because they've announced it 4 times, with 4 different directors and 4 different writers.
No, there's 2 in the works. Just another article, there's a Star Trek, the 4th Kelvin movie, and another Star Trek standalone
They've said
movie.
That as well every time. I just don't.
I know.
But, you know, because if you recall, 2 times ago, it was first female-led director, and that was the big story to get kudos points. It's a first female-led. Okay, great. And then it was led by the Noah guy, who people know, who I didn't know. Great. And his thing got abandoned as well, and now it's the WandaVision guy, which is great. WandaVision, and then 2 of the writers who are both female. Great. You know, but all of them had good credit as far as I could see. I'm hoping the fact that he comes from a Marvel background, he just had a show in production, implies he's more, like, he's like, get up and go. Like, he's been just producing, so he's like in the mindset, whereas this Noah guy may have been in a slump. I don't know. I really don't know. It didn't go very far, so we didn't do that much research. But, you know, another time announced. Great. Any thoughts?
No. As I told a lot of people, I'll believe it when I'm sitting in the theater munching on the popcorn. Until then, these Star Trek movie rumors are just Dust in the wind, baby.
Dust.
Bullshit.
Wind. Whoa. Get it?
No.
Bill and Ted. Dust.
Oh, yes.
Wind.
Yes.
Steal him. Put him in a box. Put him in a pre-TARDIS. Well, post-TARDIS. And actually, guys, question to you all. It's a stupid question, but I actually love to know a reaction right now, so we've got good viewership. Let's say 2 years, although it's already slated, I think, for a next year June or year after June release, but they've announced them release dates every time. For the next Star Trek J.J. Abrams Kelvin timeline film, would you guys like Indiegogo or if you do a mini fundraiser to get me and Stuart to watch in the cinema at the same time? For me to go and fly over to Canada to watch it, and then you can get a review like week of us together. Because there isn't that many Star Trek movies. It's not as if it's not a big deal. Because if it's only a plane, I mean, it's a long trip for me to do, but I mean, it's not a lot of money conceptually for me to go over there. Would you guys want to see me and you in person? Because then we could do a literally, out from the cinema reaction 5-minute video, upload that, and then do a proper thing. And it'd be kind of cool to have pictures of us seeing it together. Would you guys donate for that? Because I mean, it shouldn't be that many hundreds of dollars if you do it far enough in advance. That wouldn't be that much to raise. Just an excuse to see you, really. But I was just like you said. I just thought, what experience would that be like for you and me at the same time, sitting in the cinema, popcorn munching together, and then, like they mentioned India, but like every time they say something good, I'm like, Stuart. You're like, I know. Such an experience, jerks. We never watched Trek live together.
And Ryan has no faith in me, apparently, because he says, Sam, be sure to look at the lower bottom left-hand corner at 021 in the Lower Decks trailer. Shax shows up.
Mm-hmm.
He already told me that, but apparently you need to hear it because I'm an idiot.
I already told you that, though. A minute ago, I said he's in that scene in a flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Olivia Julius, $5. He is still kind of in phase. Oh, I think he is still kind of in phase, and that's why he can't be transported, right?
I liked that I thought about it.
Okay. Well, you would assume he's been transported quite a few times between that and this moment. Yeah, so I don't know about that. McMahon said writing for the Temerian was fun, speaks a little English, and mostly communicates in memes. I think he will be in more. Yeah, but I think if he's in more, he's probably gonna be like a background character, like a Barkley or something that shows up occasionally, but not one of the main guys.
Because, like I said, it is a one-note joke, unless it's referencing internal stuff. But it's a hard one to do. I would be. But he is a quality writer. Unlike a lot of these people, he obviously is a very talented guy.
Yeah, for everybody outside of America, because Paramount Plus. Bullshit.
And just to reiterate, so you guys say us in the comments, would you do a mini fundraiser to help me fly to Canada and watch the new Star Trek movie with Stuart live in person, and then spend a week with him doing content?
If it ever happens, the movie that is.
Yes. Well, I mean, they've got 5 TV shows, Stuart. At some point there'll be a movie because they have 5 TV shows. Seriously, put it in, $500, $600. Would you guys chip in for that? Because it'd be fun to do lives again together, etc. Would be fun. Yeah.
Trek Reviewer says the Tom Paris plate in the Lower Decks trailer is a callback to the Hamilton Collector's Star Trek Collector's Plates from the 1990. Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. I got a Captain Kirk one that somebody gave me in the other room, and my brother has the Spock one, has for quite a few years, so yeah. Well,
yeah, they do references even I wouldn't consider doing. And I put odd things in my fan films. Ironically, I've got to keep mine more grounded than he does. I'm a fan film.
Sergeant Montgomery's like, well, shit. Thanks, YouTube. I appreciate the notification. What's up? So I guess you're just tuning in, Sergeant Montgomery. Hit that like button and welcome. Sorry about YouTube, but it's a thing. Lower Decks. Oh shit. Lower Decks should introduce original Kirk and Spock, the rest of the original crew, but they appear like the animated Trek series designs. Yeah, I mean, we've already seen them.
Yes.
And
Yep. That's Bo's already
old,
sailed.
Those old scientists.
Oh no! Wait, no, they did look like animated series, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they all did that.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And interesting, Captain Rob April says, to date, there have been no direct references to either Discovery or Picard and Lower Decks. That is true, actually. There's been Kelvin stuff, but I mean, it'd be hard to reference stuff in Picard just in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Squadron Course, since you mentioned the fan films, how are Trek shots coming along? I keep trying. It's play one step forward, one step back, one step forward, half a step back, 2 steps forward, a full step back. I had planned the first day of the Stargate Star Trek crossover, filming in 4 days, and then Killian's housemate gets COVID, and so he has to self-isolate for 10 days, so that cancels that shoot. And he's not available any of next month either, so I've basically now lost a month and 3/4. And given it's meant to be a forest-based, in the sunlight, bright day, now it's going to be in September, if we can even book it. And it's like, it's absurd to film that in October because it'll be grey, and it's just really frustrating because we're all set. So I'm going to get them filmed. But instead, I said Marcus booked, I'm going to have him down and do some other stuff. So I'm burning the budget that was raised on stuff that isn't the stuff that I raised for, which is frustrating to me because it just makes it harder to do other stuff. But it's like I've got him booked. I want to do something with the time, so we are going to shoot a Stargate mini short, which you'll get for free. It's costing me to make it, but okay. I just want to use the props and costumes that I've been staring at for a couple of weeks, so I'm still gonna. I want to show off. Cool pictures of cool looking stuff to you all. The point of doing the fundraisers is to make stuff. It's just frustrating. Always gets more expensive. But then we've got Nim confirmed for the 31st and 1st doing short before. And then Nick is going to fly down for the 1st and 2nd. We're shooting his short with Marcus. So that'll be good. That's another mini short, not as part of the Indiegogo. That's going to be really fun. It's very, very different. And then, Lower Decks. Then that whole thing starts, but I've still got to worry about other shoots, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was going really swimmingly, and then we had a problem. No one's fault, just the world we live in, where one small thing derails the train. Again,
COVID.
It's the third time Marcus had been learning lines and been forced to have that shoot cancelled because everyone in his family's had COVID and double vax, so he's always ready to go. He doesn't go anywhere except for work, so he's always ready to go. Stupid. Which is funny because the Stargate one's outside the whole time. Yes.
What was I going to say? Oh, yes. Where is it? God damn it. I lost it now. Somebody asked if anybody's identified the ship in Chris in Prodigy. Well, we just know it's the Pearl Star. So it's an NX, so that's probably the class. I don't know.
Well, and it's a new ship. You can't identify a new ship. It's brand new. And we'll talk about that. Well, you'll see it tomorrow, and we'll film it tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it, because obviously I'm going to do comparison renders, etc., etc. So we'll see what the hell we work out. But I've got some good, as you know me, I've done some good graphics ready for it, etc.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Langley, Trekyards when the stream failed. Yes.
That was weird. It just went to 0 kilobytes a second. I guess maybe the OBS servers had a hiccup. Because we are reliant on YouTube servers, OBS a little bit, and then Skype as well.
Femi Seymour asks, has there ever been a Discovery joke in Lower Decks? No.
No.
They shouldn't know about Discovery at all, because it's classified. So.
Yeah.
A lot of people said that they'd be willing to chip in with it for that trip, by the way.
It'd be fun. We could do some good stuff with that.
Trek Reviewer says the trip won't not be worth doing because the movie will be Star Trek 5 type bad. It's even more worth doing then.
Yeah.
Trek 5's not as bad as you might think.
Well, some of it is.
Some of it is.
you know, it's a weird dichotomy. If there's some real garbage and some real good, whereas Insurrection has a lot of medium. So it depends if you like your ugh to ratio or the ratio.
Dave Stelzer makes a point that I don't agree with, but $2. Thank you so much.
Oh.
We think the writers were hanging out in the Facebook group Star Trek ship posting. No, I don't think so. You should come to Alberta. Plenty of sunlight here this time of year.
Well, Ryan, if you fly us all in, and help me get guns through custom replica firearms,
and List Jericho says, "Are we not going through the trailers?" No, we're going to do that next week. We're going to do a dedicated live for each one, where we do the scene by scene thing that we're so known for, but not today.
This is our first reaction to chat with you all, where we actually want this is about engaging with you guys before we just talk about the trailer, break it down.
4 more likes.
And also, we need to
hit that like button.
We also need to watch the panels and see what people said about it. So first reaction. We're here to hang out with you guys.
Olivia Julius, $5 Puggy treats for the poor neglected Puggy. Thank you so much, Olivia. Troy flying ship, her eyes closed. That's great.
Interesting question, or interesting comment. Hoping to get my nephews into Trek with Prodigy. They are 6 and 9. Says Metallica fan. That's an interesting comment, because if it's almost totally devoid of the Star Trek universe, they're just watching a TV show. You know, I don't know why they would. You know,
it's not devoid of the Star Trek universe. You got Janeway. Like,
but she's just a lady. Like, if you haven't seen Star Trek, she's just a person. Do you know what I mean?
But then you show her Voyager. Show the kids Voyager, and it's like, that's the lady from the show. Oh, okay, we like her because she's like a teacher. So I mean, it might be great to get kids into Trek.
But it's like TOS was great to get kids into Trek because it had the, you know, it just is, if it's so devoid of, like, it's more of just a good show for children. But it would depend on what Star Trek they have in it. I mean, it's hard to relate that.
Squadra course
parallel.
$2. Hang in there, you'll get it done, Sam. So don't worry.
Thank you. I guess it's like saying Beast Wars is a good way of getting into the, or no, vice versa. It's like saying the Transformers Michael Bay first movie is a good way of getting to Beast Wars. It's like, I mean, okay, but they're too similar. That's a problem.
We don't. Right. The star will be very Star Trek. The show will be very Star Trekky. I'm sure of that. I don't.
But Star Trek is defined by the Federation stuff. If you remove all of the Federation
stuff, who's going to be teaching them Federation ideals? Janeway.
But it's not going to be Tasha Yar preaching. Not going to make them wear uniforms. Not going to just, you know. What the balance is going to be like. It's like if you had a planet that was on Talaxia and didn't deal with anything, like, would that still be a Star Trek show with Star Trek feel if it's just on a random alien planet in the Trek universe with no connections? Like, well, it's just a planet show.
That's what I say about show. Have a Romulan-centric show. It's like, okay, I don't really want to watch that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care. It's like, yeah, it's Star Trek, but it's not what I'd want to watch. So I get that, but
I think just seeing the interior doesn't look very well. Starfleet. It's like, well, I'm not even getting from the Voyager era that I was looking for to kind of ground it. Okay, the corridors might be different, but you know, it's tricky. It is tricky. Steven says there's actually one Discovery reference in Lower Decks Season 1 final. We say Linus Star Saurian on a Titan bridge. Yes and no. I mean, that's a reference to TMP. So, yes, but also it's just a reference to Star Trek itself. It's a reference. But fair, but still just, you know, TMP.
Yeah, it's more of a motion picture reference, I think.
Yeah.
The Prodigy ship is supposed to look like one from a novel cover. I mean, it did look familiar, honestly, the shape, especially from the back. It looked like something that I'm sure I've seen before. But might get more clarification on that later. So,
but NX is a really good sign, as we've said.
Yeah.
We must have mentioned that in one of our videos. By having experimental, you get to just do anything. Yeah. It can be breaking. It can be amazing. It can have taken no seen before. You know, it's a good get out of jail free card, and it can also be a failed prototype. That's why I never see it again. It's a really it's a good idea, and it also makes it potentially the only one of its kind. It's also fun.
Orbital Wing says everyone has a different route into the franchise. Let the kids enjoy it. Yeah, well, absolutely. They can learn about Trek like the kids in the show are learning from Janeway. Exactly. Captain Robert April. TOS got me into Star Trek when I was like 2.5, so Kurtzman can blow me. Season 3 of Next Generation introduced Donnie into Star Trek universe when he was like 2 years old. His reintroduction was the 2009 movie reboot. Oof. Interesting.
And Metallica responds to his original comment is, I'm basing my comment on the fact that the kids today don't want to watch shows from TOS, TS. Trust me, I've tried. That's why I'm hoping Prodigy might work. You say that, but kids have a very large spectrum of who they are. Your kids might not have, but to say all kids don't like that, you know, it's like saying kids in Africa don't like this or this. I mean, Chinese people don't like Star Wars apparently because the box office, whereas most of the world does. So that's such a broad statement. I'm sorry yours don't necessarily like that, and Prodigy would be great, but I know loads of people that have shown their kids and they love it, and they're going to show their kids. But certainly, the further we get from it, the harder it'll be to watch it because, you know, the tech is going to feel so outdated. But that's all shows. I mean, most people now, you know, you would never expect your kids to go back and watch MacGyver or anything from, you know, or Dukes of Hazzard, anything from the 80s because it just feels so outdated. Or the A-Team. It's just so, you know, maybe because their parents want them to, but there's nothing to draw on in the same way. Whereas Star Trek have the future aspect, so at least it's dated by the look, but not what you're showing. Whereas how can someone now relate to, you know, gas at $1 and, you know what I mean, just the themes of that stuff in the same way. And why would you go back and watch that when you've got new content coming out all the time, especially as there's so much streaming content. And then you look at, like, you know, The Witcher versus something made 40 years ago as fantasy. It's like, well, there is no parallel, you know. So, but sci-fi is a little bit different. But that's part of why they really, even at the very least, they should remaster Voyager and DS9 just so that it doesn't look like blurry garbage on a big screen. Our screens get bigger and more resolution. That stays the same, small and bad, relatively speaking. Yeah.
Well, 151 likes. That's great, guys. If you haven't hit the like button, let's do that. Hit it, and let's try to get to 175. If you have anything else you'd like to say, let us know, because we'd like to talk about this with you guys. First reactions, just general thoughts. We will be doing the specific breakdown videos next week, so tune in for those.
I guess we're almost at the end of this one, because we're not trying to pad it. We just want to talk to you guys and see what you think. So if there's any fun things you want to talk about, I think we've got pretty universal obviously we come into all these videos saying what do people like, and for the most part it's normally a consensus. I think for the most part everyone's enjoyed both trailers, which is brilliant. Good. You know, I know with the Discovery one there was a bit of for season 4, but Lower Decks we quite enjoyed. Good that there's some, you know, promise. You know, animated, you know, they can have crowded spaces. There's no COVID restrictions in space in the future animated, so there's a lot more potential for this to be anything and everything. And hopefully, cross fingers, they were like, well, we can't get Trek actors physically on set. Yes, let's utilize Lower Decks and put more people in, because, I mean, let's be honest, every time they introduce a new cameo of an original guest star, how many websites is that going to be over? You know, beyond, you know, Giant Freaking Robot and all these big sites. Oh my God! You know, Tim Russ appearing as Tuvok for the first time in 14 years in Lower Decks, and Star Trek is a free news story. You know, so hopefully there'll be more cameos this year. Hopefully.
Yeah. Sean O'Sullivan though puts in €2. TOS too slow. Shave 12 minutes of pauses an episode. Disagree. I don't know. I disagree.
I mean, some people want some. Everyone's different, you know. I do not think the consensus is TOS is too slow.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't have made it to 50 years of fame, still being the most popular merchandise and most popular characters, give or take. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turd Ferguson, the argument that kids today won't like old Trek is absolute BS, and Kennedy made the same argument that old Star Wars stories won't play, and Mandalorian brings back Luke. Enough said. Pretty much, yep. I mean, it worked for a reason back in the day. It's good. That's the point. It's just good storytelling and done well. Simple. So, yeah, I hate that. I hate those arguments. They really get on my nerves.
There's a reason why TOS made Star Trek a worldwide phenomenon that is really only matched by Star Wars. Lord of the Rings, while popular, they're not isn't as popular today as it was back then when it came out. The Hobbit wasn't as successful. Not to say they lack of quality, but they didn't hit the same, universe. Almost did. Like, they're on a close spectrum, but they're not on the same level. It really isn't. And Marvel, as a franchise, probably is getting up there with... But that's because they've had how many films and TV shows in 12, 15 years plus a comic book legacy? Whereas Trek has been going semi-strong for 50 years, apart from 2 gaps. There really isn't any other franchises out there. I mean, if you think of any that are as big, as synonymous...
No.
I guess Superman as a concept would be probably as strong, but that's such a broad... And my Doctor Who, I guess, would be the other one, but that's obviously far more English. It expanded to the USA, but obviously for England it's been for 50 plus, as many years, and as, not as famous, but certainly for our side of,
Yeah. Corzion says, I think I know how Boimler gets demoted. He accidentally beams Riker's sacks onto the Pakled ship, and the ship explodes. Why? Boimler effect.
That's good. I like that. That's good. Yeah. That'd be fun.
And Turret also says, old Doctor Who had the cheesiest sets, but the stories were... Those sets were cheesy when they built them. Still cheesy now, but the stories were good, so it didn't matter.
Well, there's also more low-budget content back then anyway, so it's all relative. They weren't high budget, but they weren't low budget at the time, and certainly they did a lot of decent budget and they did a lot of good special effects for the time.
Same with Star Trek. Those effects were like groundbreaking back in the day. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
It's just Star Wars had a bigger budget and ground broke in the real groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Yes, the Doctor Who movie is great.
Doctor Who, made by Fox. Enough said. Remember when Fox made the Doctor Who movie?
Yeah, it was great. Paul McGann, great choice. Well, it was actually made by a British company, but they're helped by Fox. It's amazing how it was an American movie, but almost everyone in the production team was English. Like, almost everybody.
America gets all the credit for it.
Yeah, they got all the... It was an American project, that's why it failed. No, everyone was English. Like, that was the joke, because they really cared. It just wasn't marketed well, and it was lots of other reasons.
Metallica fan clears it up and says, I think my comments are maybe misunderstood. What I meant, my nephews cannot get into TOS animated series because they are part of the YouTube generation. They jump from video games that their famous YouTubers play. That's the problem with the new generation too, is they also have the attention span of a gnat. 15 seconds. Everything's like bite-sized, app, like you pay for a minute. You got little short clips. Nobody has the attention span to sit down and watch a goddamn show anymore. So if Prodigy, being a half-hour show, can keep them interested for that whole time, I think it'll get them in. So,
if you say that, but there's also got to be a binge culture where children are binging 5 seasons on Netflix. True. So therefore, their attention span is actually several hours in one go. So they're both. Yeah. And movies are still as popular. I mean, kids are seeing Marvel films like no one's business, and they're 3-hour Avenger film, no one bat an eyelid. and kids, I'm sure, are a huge demographic for that. So it's very strange, actually. Both have a really big attention span, where you want to watch 19 episodes of Friends season 2 on the same day, come back from school.
Yeah.
But then also...
Then he goes on to say, so basically if a YouTuber doesn't watch it or play it, then they don't care. Well, show them Trekyards. We watch it.
Yeah, we can watch it for them. Our shows are much shorter than the
down.
episodes. Oh, wait, no, they're not. They can't sit through a 30-minute Lower Decks episode. Sit through a 2-hour YouTube video on it. Different format. They'll sit through that. And obviously, I was the perfect moment. I was before this generation of content, but I've got to learn the older way, but appreciate living in the newer way. So I've kind of been. I can't speak to the kids that don't even watch TV because there are better content on TV, obviously, but YouTube is free, accessible on their own time, on their phone. But if they just watch YouTube, then they probably won't like most shows. If that's the problem, you know what I mean. If they just want to watch streamers, then they're probably too young to appreciate television because they you know what I mean. And when they grow up a bit into wanting real content, then they'll Trek is to us is ageless, give or take. Are they? You know what I mean? It's a hard equivalency to have because if they don't, if they're saying they love watching television shows but can't get to Star Trek, then they might not be sci-fi fans. Like there's lots of levels here. Like some people don't like Lower Decks because it's a cartoon. That's it. That's the reason. It's like, well, that's not fair, but it's as unfair to the show. But if you don't like cartoons, that's fair on you. Okay. I know there's an anecdotal story of somebody that just they can't watch animated movies, even like Pixar ones, because the way they're drawn or animated, they kind of like get a disassociation with reality. Like it freaks them out, physically freaks them out. And so they just can't watch anything. But they're missing out on lots of classics, but they just can't enjoy it in any way. And that's not the fault of the medium, that's just their personal, they just can't deal with it,
Interesting. Deagle says, I hear there was a poll in the early fucking early 2000s, where people were asked to identify a Dalek. 9 out of 10 were able to. Well, same with the Enterprise. Like, you don't need to be a fan of Star Trek to understand Live Long and Prosper or know where it comes from or who's the guy with the pointy ears. Oh, it's Spock. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those iconic things. So.
Well, and you ask people today, have you seen Doctor Who? Oh, yeah. Who's your favourite Doctor? Oh, Tennant. Wait, have you seen anything apart from 2012? Well, no. So you didn't see any of the first 50 years? Oh, no. I mean,
yeah,
great,
I saw
thanks.
Eccleston, Smith,
So you jumped on the second batch. That's fine, but it's that it's the exact same thing as saying I'm a Star Trek fan because I started with 09. It's like, okay, but you're not going to gain respect from me per se. I'm not saying you're not a fan or anything, but Daleks were in the new show, so the new show got a different phenomenon level. People saw it because it was very accessible, not because they've seen the old show, as in the synonymous way. I just wish more people went back and watched. Although the old shows could be edited down a bit because they were both padded and unpadded at the same time. It's odd, but obviously more depth of story.
I wouldn't mind going back and watch a lot of older Doctor Who's. I don't have access to them necessarily, and I don't know necessarily where to start or what
Well, that's the thing.
As I need something that kind of grabs me. Because remember that episode of Stargate you sent me with the repeat the day? Like, that's fucking great, and that's what got me into watching all of SG-1 and now Atlantis. So
yeah, crazy. And once he's hooked on the good stuff, he'll come back for more and more. He'll suck on your teat once he's tasted the chocolate milk.
Exactly. Chocolate milk's much better than regular milk. Anybody that gets regular milk, there's something wrong.
I mean, Doctor Who has obviously the reset button every and there's Doctor Who's aren't necessarily known for their best opening stories. It's a very variable situation because each one is done at a different time in the show's life, different budgets, different creative abilities. Like Sylvester McCoy's first episode was actually written for Colin Baker, the previous Doctor, but he didn't come back and do it, so it doesn't show off his character well, but it's got some good special effects for the time, but it's also not written in the character so well. And then you got Colin Baker's was there to make an impact of dark and impactful, which is not how you normally start a season, whereas Peter Davison's was meant to be quite light because he was a new Doctor from Tom Baker, so they're all very different. it's a but I think for the most part, any given Doctor you would like from most of the episodes.
Mm.
But I'd probably give you their best episode, because you know who the Doctor is, so you don't need any real backstory. You know it all.
Yeah,
he's just 100 years younger. So I'd probably just give you the best story from each Doctor, and oh yeah, cool. And you just watch around that. Apart from Tom Baker, where I've not even watched all Tom Baker because they weren't showing when I had it on my television. I've never gone back to watch them because he has 7 years of content. That's a hill to watch. But I'd like to. It'd be fun to see the transition between Tom Baker the actor to Tom Baker the it's my Doctor, it's my show. I say the lines I want to say, and he actually changes lines on the set, and you can kind of see his control level increase as the show changes slightly. So that'd be pretty fun.
Eric Sonder, $2. Which classic who do you recommend starting with? There you go.
Depends what you're going for. I mean, presumably Tom Baker you should start with because he's the definitive one. I mean, he's the longest running Doctor, most episodes, most cultural phenomenon, except David Tennant. But David Tennant was very kind on the eyes for both men and women. You know, it's like John Barrowman. He's kind on the eyes for both men and women as well. You know, appeals to everybody.
Sure.
But Tom Baker's first episode isn't particularly good. He's good in it, but it's not particularly good. But his third one's his best one. But Genesis of the Daleks is always one you start with. It's one of the best for a reason, etc. Yeah, what are you guys' favourite classic Doctor?
This is the best Doctor Who live stream we've done. What are you talking about? What started all this?
You know what? Maybe I'll just make a new thumbnail for Doctor Who. Should I just do that?
No.
Although you have no knowledge of the old Doctors, which makes it kind of difficult.
Well, Eugene throws in 2,000 rubles.
Oh my god. Makes a difference, as you know.
I didn't think I could care less about Prodigy, but I've seen the trailer doubling down on bridge windows yet again. So I've learned I surely can. Lower Decks is lit though. I don't have a problem with the bridge window or dome on that ship, considering when it's set. I mean, it's not shoehorned into the timeline, really. It's kind of after, what we've seen on screen. So,
well,
I'll have to see it. I don't know.
I mean, it's just the disease gets further down into the root. At this point, almost more shows have had bridge windows than not bridge windows. So now you say, well, why didn't the other shows have bridge windows? So, because if they include them in Strange New Worlds and then Picard Season 2 for one Federation ship, then it'll be the default now, and then, well, why wouldn't you put one on? So it'll take over. Doesn't matter about 45 years of history. They undid it in 10. Isn't that sad? So it's more just as an insult. It should have been opaque and then on the inside be holographic. It should have been a holographic dome that shows the outside. We're much smarter.
Yeah. Ian says, I feel like saying someone isn't a Star Trek fan because they haven't watched TOS or don't like TOS is toxic gatekeeping. We didn't say that. You can love TNG and Voyager and DS9 and haven't watched TOS. We never said that.
Who would say that?
Yeah.
That's
I have no idea.
That's a really odd comment, given that...
I understand that TOS is not everybody's cup of tea, but yeah, I don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah.
And his only knowledge of Battlestar Galactica is currently the short-lived show Caprica.
Then you don't know Battlestar Galactica, because I wasn't even Battlestar Galactica, it was called Caprica. Ironically. That's very strange. I also hate the word gatekeeping and toxic.
I know.
They're just such terms that were invented to go against people.
I don't mean you specifically, but I hear it a lot. Oh yeah, you do hear it a lot in groups in Facebook. Unfortunately, that's the culture.
Polarized.
We're not like that.
We're not political. We're trying to be balanced. I mean, we're going to call out problems, but we're always optimistic as well. It's tricky. It's tricky, but we both have a very broad knowledge, which also helps. A lot of these people have only seen certain things and bobs. If you've only seen, if you refuse to watch DS9 because you don't like Dark Trek, is it fair that you can talk about the entire franchise? Yes, but also you're missing out a big chunk of knowledge and experience. We've seen everything. So we come from this big, broad knowledge. Plus, we've seen games. We've played games. Yeah.
Metallica fan 1442 though just joined the channel at the rank of commander, so welcome aboard.
Didn't put
Commander.
you off then. Well then, I would
Welcome
recommend
aboard.
that you maybe show your nephews some Trekyards. That would be. No, I know, because we have some good analysis-y stuff. I'm trying to think what would be applicable, because it's YouTube. I have some cool design stuff that would be interesting. I'm trying to think what would be appropriate as like, oh, that's interesting. Not the railway one, the Disco Turbolift Railway. But if you maybe like show them the trailer for one of the shows, and then find all of our detailed breakdowns on the ship and see if they like, because maybe if they see it through the lens of, wow, there's so much thought put into the design.
Yeah. Guys, hit that like button. Let's get to another, let's get to 175, so another 9 likes would be great. And Scott Phillips, I agree. He says, I tried Doctor Who for a couple of seasons and just couldn't get into it. I will stick to my Star Trek. I saw all of Eccleston's, I saw all of Matt Smith's, I saw most of Capaldi's. I didn't care for Tennant. But
he is attractive, right?
I guess. So attractive, he had to regenerate himself in his own body again.
See, I'm unashamed.
Yeah.
I'm very straight, but I'm happy to say when a man's attractive.
I agree. I am the same way.
But not
I
him in this
really
case.
Find Tennant attractive.
Okay.
I mean, as Doctor Who, maybe, but some of the stuff he's been in since, it's like, what the hell happened to you, man? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
John Barrowman.
It's always amazing when he lets his hair stay white. It's like, god damn, your hair went the whitest hair. Amazing.
And we all know that I hit on Anthony Rapp. So.
Well, you almost, with Anthony Rapp, according to him. Misunderstanding of you. Oh dear me. But Deborah does ask the question: what about Jodie Whittaker, Stuart? Have you seen Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who?
I haven't seen one goddamn thing of her. But I didn't see the end of the Capaldi. Well, I did, but I missed a few episodes here and there near the end. I just kind of was getting out of it at that point. It's just like, I don't know. It's something I can sit down and watch if it's on, but I'm not invested in it really.
I like Anton's comment. Toxic fandom sadly only exists for the clicks. That's interesting because that phrase did exist a long time ago. Yeah, when YouTube started being, you could get a lot more clicks for negativity. Then people labeled that as toxic to get views to about the toxic fans, and they got views for calling out them, and that became a phrase in the pseudonym. So they kind of YouTube built up both phrases to get clicks and therefore ad revenue, whereas we don't do either. We don't do clickbait, and we don't do toxic, and we don't do. That's interesting. I hadn't even thought about that. That's interesting.
Olivia Julius, though, $5. I was looking at my Facebook memories just now. Today, 5 years ago, we got Discovery's first teaser trailer.
Did we?
5 years ago. Holy shit.
That's a road.
It's been a long road.
Should we watch that? Should we watch a little bit of that? and then people tune in to watch us first reacting to a 5-year-old trailer.
No, because we'll get copyright strike for that stuff.
No. There's no. What do you mean? There's no video in it. It's our content. We can't copyright ourselves. We could, I guess. Can you copyright strike yourself?
No, I think she was referring specifically to the first trailer being released today. Did we talk about it today?
Oh, I'm sure we must have. Okay.
5 years ago, we were eating that stuff up.
No, I think you filmed a thing, I filmed a thing. I sent you on my phone because I was at my grandma's.
Hey guys.
Okay, so we released a Discovery First Look trailer, full analysis review, the 30-minute version, May 18th, 2017. So that's not this month.
Doesn't jive.
God, 1,000 comments. The last comment 1 year ago from Noel. If they only do.
That's awesome. That's why I like going back and looking at comments on old videos. Oh.
Second comment, Michael Smith. This came up in my recommended video, so I gave it a rewatch. You guys were so excited for Discovery back then. In fact, we all were. Since the show actually premiered, it's sobering how much things have changed for us emotionally. I wonder if we'll ever feel this excited for Star Trek again. I'm gonna play a bit of that. I think that'd be great, and to see how young we look and how our make you appreciate how much better our cameras are, because it's been a slow, progressive thing. I tell you what, guys, $5, and I'll play like 5 minutes of it.
Another 30 likes. Let's get to 200.
Yeah.
Let's be optimistic.
$5.
Hopefully some of you haven't hit the like button. Hit it.
That's right. $5, and I'll play a little bit of that, which I think will be quite fun. I don't remember what we said. I've never rewatched this. I don't remember what's in the first trailer.
This would be hilarious.
And see how our
the problem is I'll have a delayed view of it though, so I won't be here at the same time as you guys.
No, you will. It's the same as those guys, just not as me. I'm the only one reacting in real time. You're reacting with the fans, which is weird in and of itself. So yeah, are you really watching it in real time, or am I watching it in real time? If you're watching it with everyone else in the entire world, $5. We can rewatch the trailer. Wouldn't that be great actually wouldn't it be fun if we re-reviewed the first trailer for Discovery, do another live, do a breakdown, like people tune in, like the new Discovery trailer, and it's season 1.
She clears it up and says the teaser with the old Discovery design, so Discovery Alpha.
Yeah, which I coined. Very proud of that. Kicked off. Because I liked it.
A better design than what they finished with.
A lot of good stuff in that design, even though it was rushed. Imagine it had been fully finished yet. Goodness.
Yeah.
The proportionality. Let's see, where am I going? I'm going for browser? Is this going to work? I wonder. No. That is not right. It's covering your face. Maybe it did work.
JB says, Sam, I'm not giving you $5 to watch your own content.
But you should.
It's $1 per year. It was 5 years ago. Come on now. Olivia Julius, though, $5. There you go. Let's see it. And I sent you all a screenshot of my reaction.
Okay. That's going to be interesting. See, look at how much...
She sent this screenshot.
We'll read out the thing while I frame this up.
Okay, I've Star Trek to death, but really the new show's ship is Ralph McQuarrie's rejected plan for the new Enterprise in Phase 2. I don't like it, and I think it's so bulky. Yes, they refitted it and made it look halfway decent, but it's still really ugly, and it doesn't really match the Star Trek look. Don't believe me? Watch the trailer. And then, yeah. So that's that.
Very fair. I was actually very restrained. So yeah, look at the difference in our video quality right now, guys. Stuart is in crystal clearness. His background hasn't changed that much. In fact, very little. I'm pretty similar, although my camera's way better. You can see obviously the better background. Still the same exact headphone style, same exact thing, and I'm sure yours is in your one ear.
Why do I look younger now?
How are we gonna sound? But I thought we both wore black. Like, it's so dark. Well, you're wearing black now too, but you've got light, like a lot of light. All right. Oh my God! Another channel member of epicness. Goodness. Awesome. Stuart, read out.
Yeah, Jordan S. has joined the channel to rank of captain. Welcome, Captain. Have you at the captain's table? Talk with the captains later.
I don't get invited. I have to.
Yeah, he doesn't get invited.
Bring the meals and say yes, thanks for that. Great, thanks.
Yeah, he did.
But thank you, Jordan. I mean that does help us go during the in-between times, and obviously you're going to see a lot of content from us during Lower Decks and all the shows. We do the daily videos. It's going to be great. Dear me. All right, Stuart. Let's see what the hell we said. Stuart, cross your fingers, because we've not seen this ever again. Do you ever watch it again?
No.
So almost 5 years later.
Guys, it's Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Colin Coggins.
And we have the most breaking news update ever in
It literally happened 5 minutes ago, Stuart. 5 minutes ago.
Are you excited? You look excited.
This is going to be fun, Stuart, but this is just a preliminary look at, because there's so much in this. They really packed it through. But first reaction, Stuart. What did you think of it 6 minutes ago now?
I really enjoyed it. It looks cinematic in its scope, which I really appreciate.
It looks
way above a regular TV budget.
Yeah.
And it looks beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you can see where the 4 to 6 million is going. I mean, it has got a filmic feel there. You can tell they're trying to push the envelope of TV because they're not maybe going the prime direction we want, but they're going the quality of filming and of sets and of visuals that this new Star Trek, TNG was a step ahead, and they're doing that. And certainly this was very entertaining as a trailer.
Absolutely.
A lot of nuggets, obviously comparing it to the Seth MacFarlane thing, also gave us a lot of what we wanted. So I'm very happy with that.
I think it's safe to say we need to start out saying this, that we're going to, during the next few days, we're going to break down this into different elements and present different videos on different aspects, tech, costumes, things like that. But right now, this is just a first initial reaction. We're going to go through go through it in order and kind of talk about it.
So if you can spoil the trailer, spoilers, because we're using screen capture on the trailer in 1080p, and we're going to quickly, looks like a phone. I had this phone. I used my dad's version of this phone, and
all right, I'm done listening to that shit.
Yeah.
These guys are
good job.
Full of shit.
Tick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who the fuck would watch
Just
these?
gonna slam right through these. Yep.
Next thing is you deserve your own ship. Or you're
my
your
God.
captain.
We didn't know.
7 years,
We didn't
Seven
know.
under as well. That's a long time for any captain. Even Riker got sort of half command in that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Louis Julius $2 sin is looking really red.
This,
really
ironically
red.
enough, is not Discovery. This is the Shinzao. We speculate anyway.
Well,
wow.
I mean, it's we've seen 2 ships and they've given us 2 names. Probably gonna be this one.
It looks a little bit out of era for the TOS, but I don't know. What do you think? What did you think when you first saw this breakthrough the dust storm?
Yeah, obviously you guys have seen the whole trailer, so we can sort of skip around in terms of visuals. But yeah, I mean, this, my guess, my thought is that they probably set aside Discovery a little bit more thanks to the bad reaction and focused on the Shinzao, whatever, swapping that to maybe swap that in a few more episodes as a primary, because this is a great design. It's NX-ish. You could see this as an evolutionary step in terms of stylistic. This has some ties to that, which is, if that's the one thing they're linking to is the prequel past stuff, there is something. So the underslung nacelle looks cool coming out. I mean, this is beautiful visual and very moody lighting as well, and also atmospheric. This is an atmosphere, which is interesting.
Yes, I'm not sure if it's breaking through I thought it was a sandstorm, but it could be cloud cover here. It looks almost like clouds. The first time I watched it, I thought it was sandstorm, but it could be
10 minutes
there
ago.
on the desert planet. Yes.
Well,
I watched it like 3 times in that amount of time, but
but straight away this trailer is hitting us with some good notes. But the next picture, and again I screen capped the mini moments that you missed. This is the beaming effect. This is the pre-TOS, post-NX-01 beaming.
Ironically enough, I noticed this right away. The kind of digitized checkerboard pattern on them. I like it. I like it a lot.
It's innovative yet very simple.
Yeah.
And thank you. But they've got the Star Trek 6 movie style lines.
Yep. Not insane. I love the streaking stars. Got the same feel, but you also got that kind of warped distortion like we saw in Star Trek Beyond. Which is a nice kind of tie-in because you are warping space. So
yeah, it is like a more visceral.
Done. I'm not wearing the same shirt, turd. No.
That was something.
That was. Wow. Those guys. So misguided and optimistic.
See, we've been broken down by it, and it's amazing because we were trying to be positive, and this is before the YouTube culture of being negative even existed. That's the interesting thing. We were coming purely from the environment. We were just doing this because we did this. Fascinating. And now I look at the stuff.
Watch that originally back then, and you're still here.
Yeah.
Why? God damn. Thank you. Why?
Yeah. Who watched that the first time, guys? On May. Show your age. May 18th, 2017. Which I'll be honest doesn't feel very long ago. Because I remember, and you said this in the video. We'll do a lot of videos this week. We did 2 a day for 2 weeks. Where every video I was very proud. We were back and forth every single episode. Say, is it Prime, JJ, or New Universe? With each piece, like the captain's chair and the corridors, every single thing was a thing or not. And I think we even tallied at the end, and it was like mostly JJ, but some of each of it. Goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't changed very much, which is great. Probably less energy, but that's... Well, as we said, it's the first new starter trailer in like 7 years that we ever had for us. So of course we're going to be excited. And boy, we're trying to be optimistic. And isn't that amazing? Like then we're excited. Now we've got 2 trailers today. We're less excited. To be fair, they're not doing the full breakdown, but we will do
next week. Anyway, guys, hit that like button. Another 23 likes would be great. Let's actually just get 3 more likes. Ooh. 180 is good.
Yes. And Mark Norris says, I think I was there for that stream. No, before live streaming. So
yes, before live streaming, for sure. Yeah.
Long time before. Guys, fine.
Corzion says he watched it when it was first posted.
Yes. It was good. I mean, that was fun. And the first time we did the I had a really lot of fun when we looked at the first ship. I made so many images. My first big, everything we could show here is worth showing. And we got, a lot of fan reaction.
We need to do some lives like that where we just watch our old content and comment on it. If we can handle it. I mean, I don't know. That was kind of rough. I had to cut that off because I was like, it's innovative. Yes, thank you. Hey, I was like, what? Anyway, rewatch party. There you go.
And certainly a few. I mean, we've got some iconic ones. Season 1, episode 1, Discovery, first episode, the first Discovery ship one, the Kelvin Enterprise, first time we see it. There's a few ones that are worth looking at. Maybe Code of Honor, re-review Code of Honor's review.
Well, Matt says it should be part of a Trekyards. I agree with that.
That's true. Oh my god, everything cringe we drink. So you guys don't have to do anything.
We would be dead. We'd be dead.
But the thing is,
BJ.
But hold on. But is that entertaining? Because you won't be watching. You'll be watching us, listening. You'll be watching us listen to us rather than us necessarily talking.
We can't really comment over it because when I was commenting over it, we're also talking with the original video. It's like.
And since we don't know what we're gonna say because we haven't seen the video for years, we might interrupt ourselves. Say something interesting, and that's just rude. Because if we are currently watching this video back in 5 more years, let me talk. Stop. Don't interrupt. Jesus Christ, Stuart. Come on. It's so rude in the future.
We're not gonna watch this in any amount of years later, especially at the hour and 48-minute mark. We would have watched the first few minutes of this probably.
Yes. Well, the Metallica fan has the question. When do you think we'll see a Stranger Worlds teaser? I thought today! But I did too. I mistakenly thought we were going to get a panel of all the shows. I saw it on a poster. I have a visual poster I saw.
But like you said, they didn't want it to overshadow these, so it could be released next week.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they do stuff after San Diego Comic-Con as well. Uh-huh. So maybe they just didn't want it to overshadow these two things. So
makes sense. But it'll be... it doesn't have to be during a big event. I mean, it'll get enough press. I'm hoping though, because they've obviously learned from experience, you can finish the CG for the trailer. Like they've got so many shows, they don't have to rush anything. So it should be far more polished than the other shows, trailers, etc.
Yeah. And Captain RDG says, when are you guys going to talk about Prodigy?
First hour. Oh, you mean
First.
When
are? Probably Monday or Tuesday.
Yes.
We'll do a breakdown of the trailer.
Probably Monday. Then, so I got filming on Tuesday, so if it's a shorter live, it's probably best to do a shorter live because I have to wake up.
Yeah, it'll be a shorter one for.
So yeah, probably Monday. Yeah, but I mean, you'll have seen the ship discussion breakdown tomorrow, which means we can talk about live on the Monday. Which would be, come on, we know it's a ship show. We'll talk about the ship for a long time on Monday.
Yeah,
that's okay.
BJ Turon, $5. Here's $5. We're singing after all for your reactions. Thanks. Enjoy your channel very much. Well, thank you.
Did you get the bit I laughed out loud at? And I broke down a little bit.
No. What was it?
I said to me, Mr. Smarty Pants, me. I said, and so far in this trailer, it's all good vibes so far. I say it with full sincerity. I'm not bullshitting. It's like, what?
Usually I'm the more optimistic one.
Yeah. Well, we were just excited. Well, as I had no memory. We did the review like right after the thing came out, so we were really like hyping in. Cause I even edited that night. So we filmed it, I edited it, I released it. We had a really great reaction. It was at least 3,000 views, I think I saw. Like the night it came out, we were the very first reaction video to come out because it came out.
There were no channels like us back then.
Well, there was a couple, but like other channels that didn't do just Star Trek. Yeah, you're right, but it was amazing because like it came out. I think within 30 minutes we were recording because we were both like, do it now. Yeah. I remember we were very excited. We were very zoning in. We filmed it. I edited it straight away. It was out within like 3 hours. It blew up because of the first one, and then I think What Culture had one like 6 hours later. But yeah, it's pretty probably with the very first trailer review reaction breakdown video of the Discovery for Season 1 trailer out there on YouTube. Yes.
A lot of firsts for us back then.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And Langley says, isn't there another Trek panel for live action stuff? I thought there was, Langley. Do you guys know if there is a live action panel? You would think there would be. I thought there was. Tell me right now. Is there?
I thought there was too. I thought I saw a Star Trek Universe panel.
I couldn't see a dedicated one. Yeah.
Well, guys, honestly, we hit our 180, which is great. Another 6 to get to 190 or 16. That's how that works. 18. Anyway, let's get to 200. I don't know. Math. Can't do it right now.
And $7.
I was going to say 17, but 7 will do fine.
Basically, are you a Captain Foley fan or a Commander Cockings fan? Do you like Stuart
I mean, there's
Moore?
only one answer to that.
Neither.
Bryce says, "Oh my God, Nerdrotic is a horrible person."
Well, we met him.
Okay.
He was pleasant enough.
Oh, we only met him for like 4 seconds.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
got a picture with him, but
It is, you know, we've both spent time with each other on and offline, and we are the same exact people, because this is just us being us. We will hype it up and be negative in person in equal measures, but, you know, those people that are slightly more negative will be less negative in person. Unless they're drunk, I guess. Because, you know, hard to be negative in someone's face.
yeah. And why do you say he's a horrible person, Bryce?
Oh, thanks, Chuck, anyway. But yes, check out the Monday and Tuesdays.
Yeah, stay tuned next week for some good lives, I think.
And Lower
Some
Decks
good ones
Tuesday. And that one's going to be really fun, because I've got every single frame that of note in the entire trailer. And one thing I love about Animator is that everything is intentional. So there are more Easter eggs and things because, you know, you said in a previous thing today, there's some sort of like museum-y thing in the Lower Decks trailer. Well, every part on those shelves is a deliberate thing, so therefore lots of references or trailers. That's a thing. Whereas live action, you aren't necessarily going to spend $5,000 to build a replica of a TOS Easter egg prop to throw it in the thing, and so it's far more constructed. You can do it in CG, but then you're building. You know, it's a lot easier for Lower Decks. So it is a show that can. Prodigy, well, it's its own universe. I mean, part of the galaxy.
Well, Olivia, if you're a Cockings fan, that means you have to put in $7. A Captain Foley fan would put in $17. I have a higher pay grade, so you have to like. That was the thing. That's why he said that.
But yeah, good to see stuff. And like I said, it for Lower Decks did feel like coming home again. This team, which we haven't felt for a while.
Yeah, and I'd like to talk to Mike McMahon again. If you haven't checked out our interviews with him, go check them out because they're really good.
Yeah. No, it's I'm very pleased that I was going to possibly do a video for next week about how they've updated the Cerritos design, but they really haven't. There's 2 things they've done that I can see, but yeah, they actually have shuttle bays now, which is great because we've now got a live action version of the Cerritos that's been custom done by, well, my modeler, and then Matt Borman did his own spin on it as well, which I've already animated. I've already got several shots of it, and it looks rather good. And it's fun to see, you know, that was a thing that happened to be a thing they did. I think his version looks better for what he did, but it doesn't look too bad in live action.
How about you guys show doing a drunk live in a past video? What?
I think he means watching a drunk live. Oi.
Oh.
See, Langley, that's what I mean. I looked and I couldn't see anything.
Well,
but they could release one at any time, though. They don't need to shackle it. They don't need to link it all to... Because you wouldn't expect a panel for Picard. Well, they're normally pre-recorded anyway, but San Diego is more about panelings.
Bryce is always... I finally saw some of his videos, and he's all pissing and moaning about how he hates everything because of, I don't know, women and gays. It's all negativity, and it's always about something that has representation for women, minorities, and gays, trans people, etc. Hard to imagine how he isn't racist, sexist, homophobic, or bigoted. I don't know why they get the fucking viewers they do. I don't understand. I just don't get it. But whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, we've actually interviewed people from the show and chatted to them and done travel content. It's like someone bitched that Vance Major was doing a crowdfunder to go to Vegas for a convention, and then lopped us in with Mecha about having also crowdfunded for Vegas and for trips. And I best way of not getting into arguments is not to respond, because who cares? Who are they? But yeah, we actually make content on our trips. Our trips are for a reason, and you get videos out of it. So if you donate for the trip, well, it's a working trip. These aren't holidays. They're working trips that we make videos for.
Did you comment that?
Well, no, there's no point, because they would say, it doesn't matter, pay for it. I mean, you can't convince them, there's no point trying, and I don't want to have back and forth. I haven't got time, or there's no effort, there's no point. But it's like, we make videos. Like, that's the point.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I think that's good. AC Costello apparently has the last super chat slot with $2. What forgotten villain would you like to see again? From the Delta Quadrant?
Oh, Vaudois. Easily.
Well, there you go.
Easy. Nice. Nice. Thanks, Bryce.
Voth come back.
Well, Voth, yeah. Voth will be more Lower Decks. They just show up. And, like, seriously more pathetic against them. Will be fun. Because I feel like... I mean, Marino's a great semi-Mary Sue, but done properly. With an arc. Like, she's not really, but she is, but she isn't. Like, well done. By the end. It's a growth thing. And so I was about to say, I'd love to see her, like, outdo the Voth, but it would be fun the way she would do it. She's got to that point. And in a funny way, like, you know what I mean? Like a Lower Decks way.
Yeah. Olivia Julius, last super chat slot with $1. Thank you, Olivia.
Although Deborah has another great comment. Most aliens in Prodigy are from the Alpha and Beta. Yes! That is going to be a thing. It's very deliberate. Are we going to see the caretakers work from 30, 40, 100 years come back? Because think about it, Voyager started here, went this way, didn't turn back. Well, what about Delta Quadrant this way? Like, races spread out. If they only went one direction, then we maybe never saw them again. So I wouldn't have a bit of a retcon to say they took more alien races, because they kind of said they didn't in the show, but I wouldn't be against it to say over the course of hundreds of years, if that was how long he was with their Compa, they got loads of aliens, and they made new colonies. Yeah. It's a good way of including aliens in the part of the galaxy, just the other way.
Yeah, because we know the caretaker did that a few times, so
yeah,
bringing people in. So yeah,
we did Northwest. We did. Are you gonna get the plate, Stuart?
Nope.
There you go.
I am not. If it talked, if it had a sound chip, maybe, but they screwed that up. So no.
And then what you do is you pay Robert McNeil on Cameo to say some words, and you plug those into the sound chip and make Tom Paris plate say your own stuff.
Unless Jericho, why didn't Voyager go to the Gamma Quadrant wormhole? Because it's basically the same fucking distance away as the Alpha Quadrant. So why not head towards home instead with the sure thing instead of what if it's maybe not there when we get there?
Yeah, that was the thing. It's like, I think it's like a fourth less far, but it might not be there.
Yeah, if you look on the maps from the Star Trek map book that they have, I thought the same thing. And if you measure, it's almost exactly the same distance. Like they thought about that when they did it because, yeah.
Yeah. And also, you're traveling. Well, I guess they don't know, but they will be traveling to Dominion space. And they didn't. No. Okay, so yeah, left DS9, but yeah, but yeah, it's just if they went to the Gamma Quadrant wormhole, and imagine if it wasn't there.
Yeah.
If
70 years later, it might not be stable enough to last that long.
Yep.
So, I mean,
yep. 65 years and it's gone. Oh dear. I think Janeway would not be capped at that point. She'd get mutinied. It's like, well, that was 70 years wasted. I have 2 grandkids, Chakotay, but
plus, you got to think the closer you get to the Alpha Quadrant, the more you're going to be running into stuff that's familiar, even if it's on the outskirts of whatever. So, I mean, it's better to head that way than to go into the literally unknown. Yeah, you're already in the unknown. You're just trying to get home.
Yeah, the chance of like a Klingon going further that way in those years for you to meet and have a knowledge of is more than going that way. And the chance of the Federation going closer towards you in that time is also much further. And who knows in that time, what if you managed to work out a subspace device that lets you talk, say 10,000 light years? Well, if you're still 70,000 light years from Earth and the Gamma Quadrant, you can't get there, but, communicate that way. So, yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
SWTX Chaser, $1. He's the last super chat slot. I think that's a good place to end it.
Until starting, the president says no. And we thank you for that no.
And 2 new members is live, which is great.
Amazing. Alright, so check in tomorrow for our review. First look breakdown review of the new ship, which is called the
USS Protostar. NX 76884.
What a name. And I'll see you then. I'm wanting to film this chat.
That's right.
You've understood that.
Watch it.
Yes.
Until then, he's Commander Cocky.
He's Captain Foley. Bye, guys.